right, so that's it. He was amazing. All of those chords using the thumb, that's crazy. That's taken a while to have to practice that and still don't feel like I got it. But yeah, let's start this. So, as always, stop me in the middle of this if you have any questions about anything, and I'll definitely go over it. So we start off with an F6 chord. Commonly, that's what it looks like, right? Your F, A, D, and F, but he's gripping it where he's got the F in the bass. And for most of this stuff, we are finger picking it. I believe he would tuck his pick, or put it on. I've seen him put it on his like leg and play with his 4 fingers, excluding the pinky. I pick and use all my remaining fingers. So we have this F, and then we're sliding up to a B minor 11, and then he's playing this cool open E and really a B flat 7 chord on top of it. So what this is, the original song, it goes F to A flat diminished. So what's going on is this A flat diminished can be moved. All diminished chords can move in thirds, right? So if we just move the top part of it, this F, B, and D, move it up a minor third, we've got a B flat 7, right? A flat, D, and F. Think of your B flat chord there, that kind of thing. So essentially what he's doing is just making it a 2-5. He's playing the B minor, and then this B flat 7. And the reason I say 2-5 is that B flat 7 is a tritone sub for an E, right? So you can go B, B flat, or B, E. So he's just treating it and harmonizing it like it's an E7 or tritone sub. So we've got now we're coming down to play a G minor 11 here, and then he plays a single note. You could also do it like this, and then he does a really cool lick. I've heard him doing a couple other tunes where he plays this G minor 11, then drops it to the tritone. So you've got G minor 11, and right, the 5 would be C, but he plays that F sharp with the C7 on top. So if you're familiar with this C7 chord, take the root off and put in that F sharp. And he moves that up chromatically. I don't analyze it any different than just moving it up. So G minor, tritone, up a half step, tritone, up a half step, tritone. So the chord progression in the song, it goes to the G minor, then we have a 2-5, A minor to D. So he's just working up like that to get to it chromatically, which is a really cool move. So in context, if we go right, and then the next chord is a G minor. Here's our first instance of using that thumb to grab that G in the bass, because we're going to play up it. So G, A, B flat. Then we're going to come to this B flat minor right here. Playing the G. And then this can be analyzed a few different ways. I call it a B flat minor, because we're going to resolve to the F, and the B flat would be the 4 of the F, and a B flat minor, 4 minor, gets you back to 1. So if we go like this, B flat minor, and we're just harmonizing it a little differently. You could think of like an E flat chord, right? But we've got the A in it, the flat 5, or you could think of a B flat minor 7 with the 6 and the major 7 in it, because that's our melody note, A then B flat. And so we've got, that's all over that B flat minor. Then we're coming up here and playing a stacked 4th chord, which is just part of an F. We've got C, G, D, and A. resolving it down to a D minor, just a relative minor sub for F, right? So just a nice way to harmonize it. So we've got G minor, B flat minor, resolved to F. Sounds really nice. Okay, now we're going to an E minor 7, flat 5, then an A7, flat 5. So we're going to slide up. So not too scary. What's going on is, here's our top chord, right? The first, second, and third string. We've got B flat, G, and D. So if E minor, that's our flat 5, our minor 3rd, and our flat 7. Now we rearrange our fingers, we can get the 1 in there as the bass note. So this is a really handy move to have kind of in your playing, right? If you have a minor 7 flat 5 chord going to a dominant chord, in this matter A, it falls right into place. So now we're playing this A7, A, G, C sharp, right? This is just our A chord. There's our flat 5, and we can just bring it up if we want, as they do in the song. So, which will resolve to D. So we've got so we're just playing a type of D minor here. Now we're going to play a D minor with a major 7th in it. So I'll show you this gripping. What it is here's our D minor chord at the top. We've got A, F, D, A. But we're going to drop this D to a C sharp and grip it like that. And I'm grabbing 3 strings at a time, so it's... And then I'm rearranging, still keeping these down, but now extending to get that G as just a color note. Just to highlight the melody, so it's... And then... This, you could call it an F. In the context of the song, it's a D minor 7. Right? We had it like that. And we're just playing the chord, and then the E as the melody note. So it's like... So there, we're going to an A minor. It's a fancy way of playing an A minor to a D7, right? A 2-5. And what he does is we're coming out of this D minor, right? And then... So take your C triad, the top part of an A minor, extend it so you have the major 7 or the 2 of the A minor, however you want to see it. And we're just coming down whole steps. Now this is a signature lick that he would always do, especially at the beginning of Cry Me a River. So you can come down it in half steps or go up it, but that's the thing that's happening. And that resolves down to your 2. I'm sorry, your 5. Too many chords. Your 5, which would be D. So you've got A minor. And now we're coming down to an F minor chord. So that's how he's gripping it in this recording. What we have going on here with it is it's an F minor 6. You've got the F, right? Your D, that's your 6. Your A flat, your 3rd, that's your minor 3rd. Your C, your 5th. And he puts that as the extension, so that's a 9. So again, it's a minor chord. We're going to go, the next chord's a C, so it's a 4 minor. We've got a couple 4 minors in here. So F minor goes to C major. So we've got, from this D7, so what that is a very fancy way of playing a 1-6-2-5. So we've got C major 7. Now this is an A7 flat 9, and we just drop that F there. So let's get into this chord for a second. We've got the 3rd of A, a flat 7, that's G, the B flat, that's our flat 9, Then he chromatically just drops this F, that'd be the flat 13 if you want to go there, to the 5, the E. So that could be a cool lick or chordal lick you could steal and put into your own playing. It's really nice voice leading. Now we're coming to the 2 of C, so that's D minor. We're just going to play a normal D minor 7 blocked chord like that. Add the extension. So we've got. And then what's cool is he's doing F, G, A, B. Alright, so this next thing, we just did F, G, harmonize that A with the G7, that would be the 5. So we've already gone 1, 6, now here's the 2, and here's your 5. Or your second 5. So harmonizing that G7 with the B at the top. So this whole fancy 1, 6, 2, 5, slowly. Pretty cool, lots of really good voice leading. One more time, C major, A7 flat 9, D minor, that's the 2. There's our 5 with the added 9, 5. Now we drop this to a minor, so we're gonna play, that's a G minor 11, and we're just taking off that 11. Then a G minor 9, we're working our way back to F here. Then we do a sub, we're gonna do C sharp minor with that extension, then an F sharp 13. So that resolves into our F chord. So how do we get that? If this is our G minor 11, thinking 2, 5, 1, G, C, but instead of hitting that C, we're gonna sub the G minor up a tritone to the C sharp minor. So that's what's going on here, where we go G, G, C sharp minor, that's C sharp. Again, it's all about 2 5s. We're thinking that resolves to F sharp. So, and that's just an F sharp 13. You can put the bass note in there. Resolving down to just a normal F sharp. So one more time just to hear that, we've got. Then, this is the verbatim as the intro, so I'm not going to explain it too much. G minor, B flat minor. Alright, here's where it becomes new again. We just landed in an F, and now we're going to go to a C minor, and we play this Barney Kessel lick. So what's going on here is, there's our C minor chord, right? The 3rd fret. And what's cool about 2 5s and minor chords is you can typically play a minor triad off the 5th. So what I mean by that is, half step up. Now the 5th of C is G. Here's your G minor chord, right? So we're going, and that all over C sounds really nice. And then there's your C minor 11, C minor 9, and now we're thinking C minor to F7, but let's make it altered. If you want, you can do that. So we've got an F7 flat 9, flat 13, flat 5. So there's our flat 9, that's the F sharp. And there is our flat 5, and that's the B or the C flat. And you can resolve it to the C there. So C minor F7 goes to B flat. And then, there's your G minor. So one more time, C minor. Then E minor 7, flat 5, up to A7, flat 5. And then we've got this cool lick, very Beatles-esque. And what we're doing here is just playing down the D minor, D minor major 7, D minor 7. That's the 2. Now we're going to the 5, which is G7 with the 9. So we've got now this next thing can be analyzed a few different ways. Could be a G minor 7 flat 5. I don't think that. I think it's more of as a C7 chord. Here's your C7, right? Because we're about to resolve to F. So you've got, you know, a flat 9 and a flat 7. And then extended A, G, F. So to hear how that translates, we've got this. To F. So that's kind of how I hear that as a 2-5 instead of G minor 7 flat 5. So all of that from the E minor 7 flat 5. Oh, I might as well say, for those just joining, there's a chord chart on my profile, the post before this live stream, that has all these chords on there if you're following along and would like some references. Also, this section repeats, so I'm not going over it, but I did that in the first part of the video, so check it out if you're just joining after this is over. So we've got, yeah. Here's our 2, and then our 5. Now we're just playing F, F again. That's a G minor, A minor. So we're just working up the chord scale. F major 7, F major 7, or G minor, A minor, and then we're going to play an altered G chord. Yeah, that's tough. And so what's going on there? We've got the flat 9, flat 5. Try and wrap your thumb around so you can get the bass, the 5th, and then we're going to drop it down a half step because G resolves to C. And there's your C right there. And now we'll do something else in a second, but I'm going to play that. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. So we've got... And then... Now the last part of the song, really, we've got this cool outro. So what that is a 1-6-2-5 with some substitutions for the turnaround. So we're starting off with this double stop right here. If you want, you could think of it as like a major 7 chord, right, over the F, or you can go ahead and sub it for an A minor. Reason being, if we're in an F, our 3rd is A minor, and that's a common sub when you're playing this type of music. So E and G, and we're just going down chromatically and then grabbing the C on top. And then he plays an A flat 7. So we're essentially going A minor, A flat. So we've got, and the reason he can do that is 3, 6. That 6 is sub is an A flat. And then we're playing from C and E flat down again, verbatim that first lick, but this is now over a D flat chord. You can harmonize it how you would like. In this song, it's like a major 9 chord. So it's like A minor, A flat 7, major 9, and then we'll do a C altered, C, F. And that's going to sound A minor, and then we've got A flat, then we have D flat, and then, C altered, so that's, this is your C13 chord, right? We're going to flat the 13 and add the sharp 9. And take off the sharp 9, and you have the flat 9. So all that together, resolved to F. Here's your G minor, walk it up. There's a G minor chord, and then your F6/9, which is F, A, D, G. So this, real quick, if you want to harmonize this, instead of playing your G minor 7 like that, try playing it where it's a D, G, then B flat. So you're building it off the 5th of the chord. It just gives it a little more fullness to the sound. And there you have it. So that is all of Embraceable You as played by Barney Kessel on the To Swing or Not to Swing album for that chord melody intro. Lots of chords, lots of things going on. But really, he's still sticking mainly to all these really cool, easy grips that we know. And also just the fundamental kind of guitar chord shapes that we play out of, but just working on extending them. So if you have any questions, please shoot me anything. But after all these videos, I've been just going down and kind of showing you how I figure this stuff out by breaking down the chord shape. So I'd like to give you a few examples of those. So what I would do, we've been camping out in G for a lot of these examples. So let's move to C for fun. So C. If I was trying to figure out a bunch of different voicings of how to extend this chord to make it sound more interesting than just a C, what I would do is pick one note. So let's, for sake of argument, let's start with C, right? And I would replace it with a note that's nearby. So in my mind on the guitar, you can either go down or up. So if this is a C, let's go up to a D. So in this key, that D is the 9. So if we want a cool C9 chord, boom, we got it, with the D in the bass. Now my next thought is, okay, if we got it in the bass, how can we get it on the top? So find the octave, D, D. There's my new C9. So already I've got two options outside of just this C chord. I've got C9, C9. Now, let's do the same thing, but going the opposite way. So C down to B. So that gives me a major 7 chord, because the B is the major 7 of C. Again, put it up an octave, see if you can get it on the top note. I can, right here. So there's my C major 7 chord, right? With the top. So if I wanted to simply create some kind of line without doing too much math in my head and all of that, I could do this. I could play C9, C major 7. And that's very melodic. It's simple, but it's nice and pretty sounding. So you could do so mess around with some of that, of just playing around with those 3 notes, or you could do the low way. Again, just kind of nice sounds and getting your ears familiar with it. So we could go down farther. If this is B, we can go down to A and we'll get a 6 sound. So if this is our C, that's how that's going to sound. Keep the C, the E, G, and C on the top. Replace this C with the A, and you get the C6 sounding chord, right? Do it on top, and you got it like that. Here's your A. Or, this is more of the Johnny Smith territory, but you could do it like that too, with it all the way down there. So that's kind of a finger stretcher, but it sure is cool when you can play like that. That could be a really nice line in a chord melody. So that's just one way that I kind of practice this stuff, practice it and kind of got that into my hands and just my ears, of being able to take notes and add it and remove it, and doing that to all the different chord shapes you know. So if once I finished this and felt comfortable with that, I would try playing all that stuff out of this C major shape. So that's with major chords. Now, if you're getting into altered sounds, excuse me, I'm gonna get a quick drink real quick. If you're getting into altered sounds, it's the same principle. I would start though with the normal tones and then drop or raise it by half steps. So let's do that real quick. Let's do the C, start with the C9 chord. Or even more basically, just a C7. You can take this C, raise it up to the 9, and we've got the C9. Now, my next extension I can do is take this G and raise it to an A. That gives me a C9 13. So, you already got two sounds at your disposal. All right, kind of a T-Bone Walker sound there. The next thing I would do after that is start messing around with the flats. So if you take this D, drop it down, and you have a flat 9, and keep the 13 on there for me. So you have that sound, all right? So that's a C9, I'm sorry, a C flat 9 with a 13 on the top of it. Now, flatten it back down, kind of get your ears back to normal, and then do the same thing with a 13. Now I have a C9 with the flat 13 in it. So we've got 9, 13, flat 9, flat 13. And if you want both of them, there you go right there. That's your flat 9 and a flat 13. Also, it is an F sharp 9 chord if you look at that. So you got multiple purposes with some of these chords, which is a cool thing to figure out. Now let's keep going down. Go down another half step, just a normal C with the flat 9 in it. If we go down another half step, we've got the flat 5, G to G flat, right? So we have a flat 9, flat 5, or if you put the 9 back in, 9 with the flat 5. So you could do this whole chromatic run, right? Check this out. You could do a whole run like that, that's just going down by the scale, and then by half steps. So that's kind of a cool thing. And to your F. So there's that flat 5, flat 9. Really though, that is like the main ways I play out of that one, with the stuff on the top. You can adjust some things here and there to get other sounds, but mess around with that. So there's a 7th chord example, and then let's do one more, a minor chord. Let's go back up to, let's do actually G minor, to show you how I can go 2 to 5. So your G minor chord, right? If you want, drop the G, have a G minor major chord. So you have the major 7 and then the F sharp, G minor 7, G minor 6. That's just going down in half steps. So that's a nice sound. It's that sound. The next thing we could do, if we wanted to, was add the 9 to the top. So there's your A. You could try and get that with the A in the bass. Either way. Again, looking for the octaves there. If you want, you could do the minor major sound like that, dropping the G down a half step. You could do a 4th sound. Now this is a little different. You could do it like this, putting the C there, or like that with the G. You lose a string, but still you get a cool sound. You could do a 6 at the top right with the E. That's kind of start looking like a C7 chord in my opinion. So yeah, those are some that you could definitely add. If you want, you can put a 9 in there and make it like a G, D, A, F. So real quick, last thing here, there's no questions or anything. You can take this G minor, C7, F. So this is a great practice of just experimenting with stuff and getting sounds underneath. your fingers. So let's say we started off with a G minor. Let's add the 9. Now let's switch it to a C9 with a 13. There you go. Flat 13. And that's an F9. So you have a whole line now. Or we could go straight to that flat 13. Or come down this chromatically. That's the C7 flat 9 to the F. So experiment with just doing that with your chords and your 2/5s and seeing how all the different ways you can get down with that. I think that's a lot to practice. So if there's no questions, I enjoyed doing this. I will be back Friday at 3 p.m. Central Time doing another one of these over his intro to Misty, which is off one of the Poll Winners records. So that will be a lot of fun, and I'll have the charts for that as well. And as always, if you want to talk about this further or take any private lessons or have any custom lessons made for you, I do offer all those services. Just shoot me a message and we can talk all about that. Any questions, anything? I'll wait a second here. I had some last time.